Good evening, everyone. By AT&T, our good Lord and Savior, I see that it is 7 o'clock, and so we're going to go ahead and get started right on time so it can be respectful of your time. This is scheduled to go until 8:30 this evening, but I really don't think we're going to take that long. So allow me to introduce myself. My name is David Gilbert. I will be the camp director for our Scouts BSA programs at both Camp Eastman and Sockanack Scout Reservation this year. I'm joined here in the studio with our staff advisor, Cord Boughton, program coordinator for the Mississippi Valley Council, and somewhere out there in cyberspace is our program director for camp, Kim Thompson, who will be entering her second year in this role. So as you can see, we got through the leader guide, through the big summer thing here on the front page, we got a lot of new stuff that we're going to be throwing at you. And I don't know about you, but I am really excited to share some of this stuff with you. So as we delve into our agenda for this evening, I don't want you to get too worried, right? We're going to be recording this, as it said, recording is now in progress when we hit 7 o'clock to the dot. And we'll be uploading this video to the Mississippi Valley Council's YouTube page, as well as putting it on our camp website under resources for Scouts BSA. So we'll also take the slide deck for that and update that as well, that we have access to this. Things are written down, not change my mind on stuff. Well, I'll change my mind, but I'll write it down so that way you have it in writing and there's no questions about it down the road. So let's kind of delve deep into what we're going to discuss tonight. First and foremost, we're going to be discussing the philosophy that the Mississippi Valley Council has when it comes to our summer camp programs. Then we're going to delve right into Troop Summer Camp, which is what we have renamed just our regular summer camp. From there, we're going to head into some new activities, our Duty to God retreat, our Sockanack backcountry adventure. I feel like there should be some pretty epic music behind that. And finally, our Trail to Eagle camp, before we head into some administrative topics that pertain to some or all of the camps. And then we'll wrap up with just a little bit of housekeeping. That way we leave things a little cleaner than they found it. So first and foremost, let's talk about a little bit about our philosophy. So here are the 4 things that the Council Volunteer Program Committee has asked me to work towards over the last 2 years. First and foremost is focusing on the patrol method. Our founder, Lord Baden-Powell, put together the scouting program as a way to help teams come together. And he is quoted as saying that the patrol method is not a way to run a scouting program, it is the only way to run a scouting program. So if you look through BSA literature, adult leader trainings, you will see that that is echoed throughout the 111-year history, 112-year history of the Boy Scouts of America. So we are going to be focusing on the patrol method. We are going to be focusing on the adventure. Better align the 2 camp schedules as we are one Mississippi Valley Council, but diversify that program as appropriate to ensure that SSR, Sockanack Scout Reservation, is the high adventure shooting sports camp, and Eastman is the STEM aquatics camp. And that was put together as a vision by the Envision Committee back in 2015, and they seem to evaluate that, and they have not changed that mantra over the last 7 years or so. So these are the 4 things that they've asked me to do, and I've been listening. I've been working with our program director, Kim Thompson. I've been working with our program committee for the last 20 or so months on the 2 years of camp that are rolling into this upcoming summer. And so we've got a lot of cool things that we're doing, keeping a lot of good things and dumping the things that didn't work. So as I take a little drink from my glass here, we're going to delve right into Troop Summer Camp. If at any time you have a question that you would like tossed out there, you are welcome to throw that into the chat. We'll be monitoring that and we'll be able to take a look at it. I'll try to work that into what we're talking about. And if for some reason I can't work that into what we're talking about, then we'll answer it at the end. So Troop Summer Camp, the thing that you're probably most familiar with. I want to talk a little bit about the merit badge schedule, because this is probably the biggest change that we're having in 2022. And that is that we are moving to block scheduling. This was an idea that was tossed out before 2021 summer camp, and it was pretty decisively shot down. And then out of the blue, at 3 of our 4 sessions of camp, when we did our year-end review with the senior patrol leaders and scoutmasters, they said, what about block scheduling? And it didn't seem to be a bad idea. So what we will be doing, as you can see from the leader guide, and what we'll be showing on the next couple slides here, is that we will have the opportunity for 4 merit badges blocked throughout the day. There will be a Monday and Tuesday morning, will be 1 block. Monday and Tuesday afternoon will be a 2nd block. Wednesday and Thursday morning for block 3. Wednesday, and Thursday for Block 4. We also have some additional merit badges that scouts can earn that don't fit into those 4 blocks. For example, we discovered last year that it's really inconvenient when you're taking astronomy for the day and you can't see the stars until nighttime. Or even better, you decide that your star viewing night is going to be Tuesday, but Monday is the only non-cloudy night of the week. So Monday through Thursday, we will be doing astronomy in the evening when it's dark and you can look at the stars. Now we'll still be doing some fun activities with that, making sure the kids are able to identify the constellations, talk about some of the mythology behind it, and of course do that entirely wearing tinfoil hats to make sure the aliens can't read our minds. But things are going to be shifting around a little bit, so please make sure that you're taking a look at that block scheduling. Kind of like last year, some merit badges are exclusive to one camp, so bear that in mind, and we'll talk about what you can do to earn those merit badges at a different camp as we move along through our training session here. Prerequisites I want to bring up again. Kim and I went in depth through all of the merit badges again this year and tried to make sure that we were having as few prerequisites as possible. For those who are unaware, a prerequisite is a merit badge that we want you to accomplish before summer camp, meaning we will not be covering it on property, and a scout cannot walk away with a completed merit badge without having done it. So it's the homework, and if you don't do it, it becomes the post work. And then you've got to find somebody to sign off that merit badge. Unless your scoutmaster is a registered merit badge counselor, they cannot sign it. So my recommendation is have your scouts sign up for your merit badges sooner rather than later in April, and then have time during your troop meetings, during your skill instruction, doing your patrol breakouts, to have them work on their merit badge requirements together. It makes it a little more fun. We will have limited seating this year. One of the things that we discovered last year when Heather, Kim, and I started this venture together was that our system was set up that every merit badge had a limit seating of 50 people, with the exception of ATVs, that was at 5. So we worked with our camp staff. We listened to our camp staff, our area directors, our counselors in training. We talked to you, the scoutmasters. We talked to the scouts themselves and came up with a ballpark figure of how many scouts should be in different merit badges. We are open to adding more sessions. We are open to dropping sessions if nobody signs up for it. So if you're interested in a class, sign up for it so we don't drop it. If a class gets full, we may open more classes if the need and demand is there. But if you're waiting to see if it's going to fill or not, that doesn't help us out. Lifeguarding does require swimming merit badge in order to take. Must also be a blue swimmer. And I believe canoeing and rowing are the same way. So what we did is in that Monday and Tuesday A block, the first block, we have swimming. And then we have life-saving on the Wednesday, Thursday. So a scout could take swimming the first half of the week and life-saving the second half of the week and walk away with both of those. But don't forget, you as the scoutmaster have to approve of all merit badges. So if you don't think that scout is capable or should be taking lifeguarding immediately after taking swimming, don't approve it. That's on you to determine what is right for each individual scout and be their guide. The merit badge registration system will be opening up on April 17th. Usernames and passwords will be sent out to unit leaders in March, and there'll be access to the Mississippi Valley BSA.org/camps or MVC-camps.org. We own both of those URLs and they go to the same place. And as I said, Scoutmasters should approve all merit badges your scouts sign up for to make sure they're capable and mature enough to handle them. As we talk about the patrol method, it was one of those ideals that the program committee tasked Kim and I to work on. Here's a little quote that you'll all remember when you took the BSA leader training for Scoutmaster, that the #1 job of the Scoutmaster is to train youth leaders. Now that was put together like 112 years ago, and we'd probably throw it as a 1A and a 1B as watching out for health and safety. But that being said, in order to help you run your troops, we are changing our schedule a bit in order to make sure that we are modeling the right scouting vision for you. So every day in the afternoon, we're going to have daily patrol challenges. So just like you and your troop meetings have inter-patrol activities towards the end, all of the patrols can come and join us and participate in the challenge. Kim has been working diligently, and I've tasked her with watching as many Survivor episodes as she can to figure out some cool tasks for the scouts to do. As she sits here and she Snapchats me saying, I'm supposed to be watching what now? We've also scheduled in time each day for you to have a troop meeting, a patrol leaders council meeting, and time has been flexed for when we're having our senior patrol leader and scoutmaster meetings in order for it to make a little more sense to flow together. So that way you can come gain all the knowledge from us. Later, you can have your patrol leaders council meeting and share it and put together your plan as a troop. And then you can spread that plan to the whole troop at your troop meeting. And then one of the things that we've had many debates on over the last couple months, in fact, I just had another conversation with a very kind volunteer earlier this evening about it, is newsletter versus announcements. We're trying to run a professional organization. It's not that I'm opposed to announcements, but I don't want to be bombarded with announcements because it shows to me like we don't have our shit together. We don't know what we're doing. I don't need to tell people 100 times a day to drink water or die if that GPS geocaching counselor, didn't tell the 6 kids in that class that they need to bring batteries to the merit badge. The entire camp doesn't need to know about it. We can throw that in the daily newsletter and we can kind of go and run with that. It also helps clear some ambiguity that we're not telling people one thing and then people later another thing. That was one of the things that when I came in as camp director last year, I heard a lot of complaints about, is that the senior patrol leaders were told one thing, the scoutmasters were told another thing, the breakfast announcements were told a third thing, and then afternoon announcements were told a fourth thing. Kind of what we're going there. Evening program. I am happy to say that family night is returning. So yay, family night. So families can arrive after 4 p.m. And after. Guests must sign in at the trading post. Guests must sign in at the trading post. That's something that they've asked us to do, that every guest, even on parents' night, must sign in at the trading post. Another thing that we've discussed extensively at our leaders meetings is that night, there will be no food service with our dining hall. So most of our troops all ready for parents' night coordinate together and they bring in a potluck. And sometimes that's the troop all chipping in for something or mom and dad grabbing a bucket of KFC on the way into camp. And we typically may only have 1 or 2 units that need to use our food service that evening. We have decreased the number of our food service staff over the years, and in order to give them a little break too, like the rest of our staff do, we will not be having food service in the dining hall that evening. So if you're coming from a long way away, if you're coming from out of council, you can work with us and we can make sure that we have pizza places in your back pocket to give a call, or run into Casey's and grab a bunch of donuts for the kids, or our trading post will be well stocked with all sorts of delicious foods that you can buy and eat and enjoy as you feast on those big boppers. Friday night, we have eliminated the Friday night campfire. This we went back and forth on quite a bit. We still fall within line of our NCAP, National Camp Accreditation Procedure standards on that one, but they require us to have meaningful ceremonies. And we do. We have the opening campfire. We have an Order of the Arrow campfire. We have a Silver Tomahawk campfire. And Kim and I really want to do more social things with the scouts, getting the kids the opportunity to network, build friends across troops. And the best way to do that is just do fun stuff. So at both camps, we're going to have a night, probably Friday night, where we're going to do a beach party luau at Saukenok. That'll be at the Jambo Beach on the other side of the swinging bridge. At Eastman, that'll be down at the waterfront. We'll build a bonfire. I'm not allowed to do tiki torches. I asked Cord if I could ignore that rule out of the Guide to Safe Scouting, and he told me that I probably shouldn't. So I'm looking for a creative way to get around the no tiki torch rule if you've got one. We're also going to have other activities going on throughout the week. The Order of the Arrow has asked that I throw in a little blurb that they are looking to ensure that all troop elections are done prior to camp. They are doing some staffing changes and things that they're getting together, and they would really like to have all of those done before stepping foot on your week of the property, you're on property for your week of camp. Both Order of the Arrow and Tribe will need permission forms. Again, I do not have those final versions in hand. Those have been distributed through their staff advisor to them. to take a look at, review, and update before they come back to us and sent over to legal to be reviewed. We're also, for evening program, going to have the 3 outposts that we encouraged last year and didn't end up having because of COVID: the Wilderness Survival, Buckskin, and First Year Camper Camp In. All 3 of those will take place on Friday night. That way they can enjoy themselves, have some fun. They're not missing a campfire. And then they wake up in the morning, come back to your campsite, and go home after eating a delicious coffee cake or cinnamon rolls, whatever Mrs. Collins is going to make us. Now, what are we doing with the awards that we would have handed out at the campfire? Very simple. We're going to hand those out at dinner prior to that. Gonna take another drink here. We're going to go ahead and move along. Green Bar and Zenith. So Green Bar was a new program area that we added last year that was meant to focus on teaching old-timey scout skills. And there were some successes to it. There were some lessons learned. We pivoted a bunch of things. We pivoted back. It's kind of like doing the time warp. Step to the left, to jump to the left, step to the right, put your hands on your hips and all that jazz. So we've decided to take the First Year Camper program and the Green Bar program and merge it into one area. It'll have an area director and 2 staff working on it. So that's right. For years and years and years, between 40, typically an average year is 40% of our summer camp are first-year campers. We've had 1 first-year camper staff member. Now we'll have 3. There will be merit badges in Green Bar. There will be second and first class requirements in Green Bar. There will be fun things that are patrol method and scouting fundamentals in Green Bar that do not go towards rank advancement, but they're just fun. Okay, so that's what we're going towards with our first-year camper program. And I would not be surprised if after this year we continue to pivot and learn and shift. There is no camp out there that I've seen within the Boy Scouts of America that has the model first-year camper program. Everyone is always looking for the right solution, and hopefully for Mississippi Valley Council, this will be right on the track for what you guys need to support your troops. As a reminder, there will be no tenderfoot requirements for this. Your scouts are encouraged to cross over in February at the Blue and Gold Banquet. As close to February 8th as you can schedule that is the scouting tradition. That way your scouts can go to a camp out in February, March, April, and May. So that would be 4 campouts, 8 nights of camping before Tommy Tenderfoot goes off for a week with the troop with a bunch of leaders that mom and dad may or may not know and hopefully have gotten to know. It also means that you've got 4 months, or if you go into Eastman, 5 months of weekly troop meetings where you should be able to earn the 30 days worth of requirements for Tenderfoot. Zenith is what we're going to call our older scout program. No, not like the televisions from the 60s through the 80s. No, Zenith is just a cool word that means pinnacle, the top, the head honcho, a rather apropos name for our older scout program. There will be opportunities for scouts who are 14 years and older during our non-merit badge times. I don't have a full list of those yet. That depends on who accepts contracts, what their passions are, and what my summer camp staff is able to work into our schedule. Some of these programs may run past 10 o'clock, and that's okay. If you are not okay with the scout being out of the campsite past 10 o'clock, go ahead and let that scout know that they need to be back. But as far as camp is concerned, 10 p.m. is quiet time, not be in your sleeping bag time. So respectful and quiet. We want to make sure that those kids who are going to stay up anyway are making good decisions, have some fun, build memories, and make relationships with their friends. Sauconach ATV program, don't forget about that. Only offered at Sauconach Scout Reservation for scouts 16 years and older. There is an additional $50 fee. You may be wondering why $50? Is it because of the gas? Is it because the scouts keep breaking the ATVs? The answer is, I don't know, but the space is limited to 5 scouts per week. So I highly recommend that your 16-plus-year-old scouts sign up for it. It's an absolute blast. You get to hang out with Ranger Turner and learn all sorts of things that they probably shouldn't learn. And then at the end of the week, they get to drive through the main part of camp and upset all of my camp staff members. So definitely sign them up for that. Parent permission form and hold harmless form are required. So as you're looking over those requirements for the different merit badges, the ones that are camp exclusive, maybe you're an Eastman troop, you're like, man, my scouts would really like that ATV program, or maybe you're a Sauconot troop that's like, I'd really like to go check out paddleboarding or the motorboat at Sauconot. Well, we have an opportunity for you to attend Provo Camp for half price. Now, I think we're actually giving you a better deal than half price because I think summer camp is $305 per week, and we don't want to deal with the math of doing $152.50. So I think out of laziness, we just said $150. So really, it's like 51% off, 50.75% off. So, ESA is looking out for you there. But this applies to council troops and scouts of all troops. Anybody can come. We provide the leadership. That's what's great about this. Scoutmasters, troop adults do not have to take another week off of camp. They can just send their kids and we'll provide the leadership, run it in a model troop setting, just like your troop. They will get together, do some team building games, elect a patrol leader. If it's big enough troop, elect a senior patrol leader. They'll build campfires. They'll do activities together. And then we also kind of look out for our provost scouts. We give them some opportunities that most scouts don't get to do. So sometimes we bring in sneak and treats for them, or bring them a box of Big Boppers. The program and camp director will go down and bring them root beer floats one night, or have a movie night that's just for them. Allow them to come hang out with the staff for a couple hours one evening and get to know them. So it's a pretty cool opportunity to get the VIP treatment, whether you're going to Sauconot or Eastman. And there are scouts out there who will attend all weeks of camp with us and hit the second, third, and fourth week. All of those are going to be half price. Also half price if you go to a second week is our Order of the Arrow Service Corps, sponsored by Black Hawk Lodge. They will be utilizing the same leadership as our provisional troop, sharing that. They will also have additional leaders from the Order of the Arrow who are there. This is offered 1 week at Sauconot, 1 week at Eastman, and in the morning, scouts will be able to perform service to camps. And then in the afternoon, you basically have free time to work on merit badges, have fun, do whatever you so desire to do. It's an opportunity to get your older scouts a little more engaged, or the older scouts to stay engaged as they build friendships outside of their home troop. For more information, I'm going to encourage you to go to the Black Hawk Lodge's website, blackhawklodge.org. And of course, we're always looking for camp staff. Well, I guess I'm not really looking for many camp staff right now, Cord. I'm looking for a couple medics, and I'm looking for a few provost scoutmasters, especially adult female. I'm looking for in desperate need, and then a few weeks of medic. But beyond that, I've pretty well got all the staff put together. We were in a very good place this year. Before we even talked to last year's staff, we had about 45 staff applications in hand as Kim and I went around and recruited kids last year. Our objective is to find the right kids to work on staff, the right young adults to work on staff. That's not to say that we want to turn anybody away, but we definitely want to make sure that we are working towards the best camp possible, and that Mississippi Valley Council Camp is one that you can be proud of and one that we can share with all of our neighbors as they're trying to figure out their own financial woes. Applications for camp staff are available at mvc-camps.org, and we are accepting applications for Cub Scout Adventure Camp, Weebo's Adventure Camp, Scouts BSA Adventure Camp. I guess that's not really an adventure camp, Scout BSA Troop Summer Camp, as well as our specialty camps as well. And we'll figure out what the best fit is going to be for you. I'm going to take another big swig of my beverage here as we move on to our Duty to God retreat. And I'm going to give it about 10 seconds. If anybody has any questions for the chat, you are more than welcome to toss something out there. Let's see, I'm looking in here. I see Chris Stegner has posted in the chat talking about the newsletters. They were amazing and he loved them last year. Hopefully, Chris will be able to do a little better job of getting those posted on the Facebook every single day. There were some weeks I was better about that than others, just depending on what was going on. Justin says he likes the idea. It's a great idea with the green bar and first year camper programs and kind of merging those together. So, last year we threw a lot of mud at the wall, and we just wanted to see what stuck. Okay. Duty to God retreat. Let's move on to that topic. That'll be a nice, exciting one. This is a half-week summer camp that'll be offered at Camp Eastman. And we'll give the official reveal here for the patch. That's going to be the t-shirt design as well. So last year, as Kim and I were sitting in the camp office, kind of shooting the breeze with a whole bunch of the camp staff, Kim posed the question, if you camp staff could do anything that you wanted, what would you do? And now I'm David Gilbert and I'm kind of a nerd. So I sat there and I took notes because, what else was I going to do when it's 100 degrees sitting in that office? And we came up with a whole list of great activities. And when camp was over, Kim and I went to Heather and said, Heather, we've got like ideas for 10 other camps, aquatics camps, horse camps, adult summer camps, things of that nature, and gave her a few options. And we were told that we could pick 3. And we said, well, we like them all, so you pick 3. And ultimately, the powers that be chose 3 new camps for us to pursue this year. We know that scouts are going to come to camp if there's topics that are interesting to them. And we want to make sure that we're matching that because we want your kids to come to multiple weeks of camp. And I think you do too, because if you didn't believe in the values of scouting, you wouldn't spend so much time with us. And we know that a week at camp is worth 6 months theoretical practice in your troop meetings. So the more weeks of camp your kids get, the more leg up they're going to have over their peers. So the first of those 3 camps is duty to God. And here's what we have as our objectives. Number 1, how to think and act as a reverent scout. Number 2, growth in their personal faith. When we started putting together this planning committee for it, the first thing I told them was that if we converted anybody, we failed and they're all fired. Introduction to the BSA religious awards for their faith and building young lives to make good and ethical choices over their lifetimes. So we have a handful of different topics that I've displayed on the screen. We're about 3/4 of the way through writing the syllabi, and it's looking really, really good. The people who are putting this together, we've got invitations and participation from United Church of Christ pastor. We've had requests out and some reviews come back from the Catholic faith. We have LDS inclusion. We have agnostic inclusion. We have the crossing. What is the crossing? Non-denominational. So a variety of different faiths. We would love to expand this committee. We'd love to have somebody of the Judaistic faith, somebody who's Muslim, somebody who's Baha'i. So if anybody is interested in joining on this planning committee, we'd be happy to have you. But as you can see, a lot of what this is focused on reverence in a scouting term. So what does duty to God mean to you? Let's do a reflection, interfaith considerations, and what binds us together. Thinking critically about faith. Pastor Chad's going to teach that one. Forgiveness, reflection, actually putting together a Scout's own service and being able to practice and get feedback with it. And then talking about Scout Sunday and how to make that better as well. This camp, because it's shorter, is only $175 a scout. Once again, it's provisional style. So you, Mr. and Mrs. Scoutmaster, don't even need to show up. They'll arrive at 8 a.m. on a Thursday morning, kiss mom and dad goodbye. And then at 11:30 on Saturday, parents, Scoutmasters, and their religious leaders are invited out to do a Vespers service with the Scouts. So the Scouts will lead it. And then following that, we will provide lunch to the Scouts, the parents, the Scoutmasters, and the religious leaders who choose to attend. So it's a good opportunity to work with your Scout, talk about your personal faith, recap some of those softer things that we discussed and tie them back into your direct faith. And don't forget, it's half price if it's your second week of camp. The date for the Merit Badge portal is April 17th. This is going back to the chat here. Date for the Merit Badge portal was April 17th, but online leaders guide stated April 15th. Did that change? I don't have an answer to that, Jared. So I've always been a proponent of just saying it's April 15th. It's tax day. People won't forget that. But around the office, I kind of get shot down on that. People saying, well, April 15th is a Saturday. Well, maybe, we should have camp, camp fees are due by the 15th, come in on the 14th. People can be smart. You're intelligent people. So is it the 15th? Is it the 17th? I have no idea. I will tell you that you will get your username and password sometime shortly. And then after that, you will get a big mass email when the system has opened. So 15th is Good Friday, and I think the Scout office is closed, is what Chris is saying. Yes, that's the case, but I'm also single and live by myself and don't go anywhere. And it doesn't take long for me to go onto the portal and flip the switch saying that it's open. Now, I guess you guys are here on a little early. Not all of our troops are on. Sometimes I get a little bored and I flip it on a couple days earlier. So shh, you didn't hear me say that, but that way I can do some testing and make sure that it works. And, after we've already done our initial testing, I can do some beta, Charlie, Gamma, or Delta testing there. Okay, let's move along to my favorite of the specialty camps we're doing, the Sauconok Backcountry Adventure. We spent a lot of time building this out last year. We spent an extra week after Sauconok closed, plotting everything out, and we're about 50% of the way through writing this syllabi, and it is so far shaping up to be really, really cool. So we wanted to provide an opportunity for kids, for older scouts, to enjoy scouting in a trek activity. So not your tent camping summer camp, but backpacking style. We want to teach scouts advanced outdoor and camping skills and provide an experience that can help a scout prepare to attend a trek at Philmont Scout Ranch. Now, I've walked over there and I've done this. If I can do this, anybody can do this. But that doesn't mean it's without its challenges, going up and down and up and down. So you definitely have to stop and catch your breath. So we're going to be taking scouts over to the back side of Sauconok. They're going to be going all over the place, staying in places that most people don't get to see. And there's some really gorgeous scenery back there. And when they get there, they're going to be doing different activities. So each day they will have as a patrol against each other, a reward challenge and a comfort challenge. Reward challenges are going to let them earn points for different things. There will be some sort of a reward. And then comfort challenges are things that they can earn. If the winning patrol gets it, it may be something like, we'll take you in the camp truck and get a hot shower, or your patrol gets a box of Big Bopper ice cream delivered to your outpost site, but you can't share it with the other patrols. So something that makes a little more homey for working hard, working as a team together. And reward challenges might be things like they're working on map and compass all week, but tomorrow you get to use a GPS unit and we'll give you the coordinates of where you're going, make it a little bit easier for them. So we're going to have a big focus on leave no trace. We're going to have a focus on high adventure. Granted, we really don't have bears or anything too bad out at Sauconok, although some of you snore pretty bad and our raccoons are pretty large, but we still will be following things that they do at Philmont. So we will have separate areas for sleeping and food preparation and eating. They will eat Philmont rations is what we currently have a bid on right now, as long as we can get enough of the surplus Philmont rations. If not, we'll put our own kits together to have the same food in it through Kohl's. They'll be using bear bags. They'll be using Whisper Light stoves, just basically like you would at Philmont. So we'll be going through Buckskin, Iroquois, Illini, Illinic. The former lake bed is really cool. You could film a Jurassic Park movie down there. A lot of pretty cool older stuff. This is designed for older scouts, but I did not put an age limit in the leader guide. And out of the 12 people who proofread it, nobody caught that either. So I've had a few people ask me about it. I would recommend 14, but we didn't say a hard number. So if you've got a 13 or 12-year-old that you think is ready for this, go ahead and send to Scout. But we don't want kids who are going to get homesick. We don't want kids who are going to be upsetting the apple cart. This is designed for older scouts. It's a great practice for Philmont, and I put scrumptious trail food in there, but it's a great way to go on a diet. Once again, this will be provisional style for camp. They'll arrive at noon on, I think that's probably supposed to be Sunday. I'll double check. It's whatever date is in the leader guide is what we're going with. Yeah, it should be Sunday because Saturday is when they leave. So Saturday at 11 o'clock, Scoutmasters and parents will be invited to arrive to help cook lunch with our awesome kitchen staff and Marcia Collins, followed by luncheons with the Scout at noon, and then they can get the heck off my property and go home, especially the ones who stink, because deodorant is a smellable. Once again, it's half price if it's your second week of camp. Trail to Eagle is going to be another absolute blast of a camp. This is to prepare scouts who are at least first class as they walk through all of the requirements to Eagle Scout. We will start at first class and we'll go through all the Star, all the Life, and all of the Eagle. They will get the opportunity to meet the Eagle board volunteers and learn about the two parts of the board of review, the project and the final. Realize that they're not scary men behind the curtain, but they're just volunteers who want to help the Scouts be successful. They will be able to have the opportunity to earn Eagle required merit badges that we took out of our regular troop summer camp program. And they can network with other aspiring Eagle Scouts. They can challenge each other towards success. Every day at lunch, there will be a lunch and learn where their provost scoutmasters will do some sort of conversation with the Scouts as they eat their sack lunch. They will be cooking in the patrol site for every meal except Sunday. We figure the first day we'll give them a bone. But as the Scouts work towards that cooking merit badge, or for the Scouts that have it, can teach using the edge mode, just like is in their Scout handbook, they can get more proficient. And so we'll be using different modes for that, including Dutch oven, whisper light stove, utensilist cooking, etc. Trainer's Edge is a course that may be beneficial to them, so we've snuck that into the program as well. And then they will plan a service project at camp that cannot that cannot be done as an Eagle project, but we'll go through the planning process so they can see what it takes. Don't forget, Eagle required service projects cannot be maintenance and they cannot benefit scouting. So this will probably be a maintenance project and will definitely benefit scouting. But walking through the steps gives them an example of what they need to do in order to get ready to earn Eagle. Provisional style, apparently I did a terrible copy paste job. Once again, arrive at noon on Sunday. I will have those 2 slides fixed before I upload this to the website. And Saturday at 11 o'clock, Scoutmasters and parents are invited to arrive. This is kind of in place of the parent night because the provisional camps do not have that. So you guys get to cook lunch with Marsha Collins and her team of chefs, sous chefs, and then you get to eat with them, and then we're going to kick you off property. So go home and take a shower. Once again, half price if it's your second week of camp. I'm going to pause there for a moment and see if there's any questions that pop up here in the chat. Not seeing anything at the moment. Drinking out of this really cute little mug that a Scout gave me last summer at camp. It says, you don't have to be crazy to camp with us. We can train you. Absolutely love it. Prices, I think, Cord, you're sitting next to me. What are the prices of camp? Are they $305 for everything except the Duty to God camp is $175?
Yes.
So Jared, to answer your question, all of our camps are $305 if you pay by whatever that date is in April. After that, there's a $25 extra fee. The reason for that is twofold. One, we're trying to encourage you to have all of your kids registered by that date. That helps us out a lot with our planning prices. I don't really think that $25 is like a big enough deterrent to not register late, but literally the day after those are due, I have to start ordering things for camp. We have to start making sure we have food, merit badge kits, program supplies. In fact, some of our trading post stuff we started ordering last November because I don't know about anybody else, but I'm a little shy on some of these things because of supply chain issues and making sure that we have to run an amazing summer camp that is best in the territory, best in the region, best in the United States of America. National Camp Accreditation is the bare minimum standards for a BSA summer camp, and I think Mississippi Valley can strive to be better than just the bare minimum. National Youth Leadership Training Camp is another one of our summer programs. We typically don't lump this in with summer camp. We lump it in with our training programs, but I have a big passion for this program. And so I told Joe Henning, the Scoutmaster, and Jaden Schreck, the Senior Patrol Leader, that I'd be happy to throw out a big plug for NYLT, which is going to be having a new syllabus rollout for 2022. National Youth Leadership Training is one of 3 official trainings developed for youth in your troop. The first one that they have is Introduction to Troop Leadership Skills, which you run as a troop, and that syllabus can be downloaded off of scouting.org. The second is National Youth Leadership Training, and then the third is Den Chief Conference. They've also got some additional activities out there for Scouts like NAIL, National Advanced Youth Leadership Experience, but in terms of legit training, this is the creme de la creme. This is the cream of the crop and the thing that every Scout, in my opinion, should go through at some point. I was the quiet, shy, introverted little kid, and then I went through the predecessor to NYLT called Junior Leader Training Camp, and I think most of you agree that now I just don't shut up. So we are, as an incentive for you to send kids to NYLT, going to include this in our half-price summer camp deal. I can't guarantee that that's going to continue into 2023, so take advantage of it now, that if your scouts go to summer camp with the troop at full price, they can go to NYLT at half price. Never have we offered this before in any sort of council incentive, and I don't know if we will again, so take advantage of it. You can see on the screen the objectives. I'm not going to read them to you verbatim. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It's how to be a leader. It's the fundamentals of communication, vision, conflict management and resolution, ethical decision-making, all of those things that we want our youth, our scouts, our young men, our young women to start learning how to do. I personally recommend that when you send a scout to this program, you send 2 scouts. That way, when they come up with ideas on how they can improve the troop, they have an ally to make change with when they come back home. So typically this is set up in the model month of a troop. So they will go through troop meetings, patrol leader council meetings, and overnight activity where they'll do an outpost at the end of the week that they camp, so forth and so on. They talk about the be, know, do of leadership. It is provisional style, so you'll find youth leaders from all across the council. I thought it was really charming last summer how many of my camp staff ended up going. Then I went back to the main side of camp and I wondered where in the heck all my camp staff went. 15 leadership topics will be covered. I think I talked about this on the last slide. Additional information, once again, they will arrive at noon on Sunday. They must be for this course first class and 13 years old to attend. Many troops require this training in order for a scout to serve as senior patrol leader. And that really is a very good best practice. I'm now going to hop into the administrative topics, and we are trucking right along right now. It is 7:41, so we'll have plenty of time for questions and answers here. Trading post gift cards, are available starting April 1st at the scout shops. They are through our square program versus our program in the scout shop. So these gift cards are only available for use at the trading post. But come on in, fill your scout up. In fact, I recommend you get one April 1st, and every week between April 1st and your week of camp, you put another $25 on it. That way your scout has everything they need when they're ready to go at camp. Those gift cards are refillable from home. So if you want to add more money onto the card, you simply call the office. We will put the money on it, and then you can pay over the phone by credit card, drop in the scout shop, pay by cash, check, or card, and we can make sure that your scout has everything they need to have a memorable time at camp. Pre-order catalogs with lots of our goodies will be available April 1st. I think there's been a couple issues floating around of it as we've been slowly adding more and more stuff to it. I know we had a preview of it at the council dinner. Once again, we're doing 2 different colored t-shirts for each of the properties. Worked with some scouts to create some focus groups to put that together. I think the Eastman one looks really sharp and the Soccer one looks okay. The patches look really, really cool this year. They're inspired by the national park patches. We've got new belt buckles. We've got new silly pints, which are great. Toothpick holders, you name it, we're adding it to our repertoire to make sure that whatever your hobby of collection is, we've got it for you. Merit badge kits that you'll need for summer camp will be available, almost all of them, through the pre-order catalog. And we're also going to be doing some experiences this year. So if you want me as the camp director to come to your troop site and do a soda tasting for you, we've got that in the works. Friday night, we'll be doing Friday Night Magic. We've got the owner of Tri-State Games in Quincy going to come up, and he's going to facilitate a booster draft. So we encourage you to buy into that ahead of time. Make sure you've got your ticket reserved and good to go. And there will be prizes and gift certificates to the trading post available for whomever wins that. We will teach you how to play. Tumblers will have NYLT items in there. Camp staff items are going to be restricted, but at least you can see some of the cool things coming down the pipeline. I have been asked to reiterate our golf cart policy as we continue to try to work towards the complete elimination of golf carts at summer camp. Fill out a council application if you would like to have a golf cart at camp, and you can get that at mvc-camps.org under the resources for the camp you're going to. The operators must complete the practical training through the ROHVA, the Recreational Off-Highway Vehicle Association. There's also an online portion that they need to take for that too. Operators should have a medical reason to need a vehicle. If you are seriously wondering if you need a vehicle, you probably seriously need to wonder if you should be at camp for a full week. So they should have a medical reason, but we will approve things. Everything is negotiable. Within that vehicle, you must have your owner's manual. You must have your first aid kit. You must have your fire extinguisher. We got dinged on this for our standards last year. So we will issue permits that you will have to have on your cart, and we will take those away if we spot check and there's no owner's manual, first aid kit, and fire extinguisher. We will not provide any of those 3 items. Once you have all of that stuff, you can submit it to the council office, and the council program coordinator, Cord Boughton, the camp ranger, either Phil Kaler or Mike Turner, and myself as camp director have to sign our little John Hancocks on there. So hopefully by the time it comes to my desk, the other 2 guys have looked at everything and they know that everything's kosher and good to go. Remember, permission may be revoked if they are used inappropriately, where you don't have those 3 required items: the owner's manual, first aid kit, and fire extinguisher. Everything we've talked about is in some form or another, either reading between the lines or explicitly stated in our 2022 Scouts BSA Summer Camp Guide. You'll notice we don't call it a leader's guide this year. It's a guide to all of our programs, and even has some plugs for additional things coming throughout the fall, such as Jamboree next year and our Merit Badge Makeup Day, where if your scouts don't do the prerequisites because they don't get to them, they decide that they want to be lazy and do other things instead, you can bring those to the Merit Badge Makeup Day. We will have counselors available. Scouts can continue working on shooting to try to qualify for their badges, bring stuff that's been completed, show it off, have a Scoutmaster signed letter saying that this kid has done this, and our registered counselors will sign those merit badges to make them official. That camp guide is available for hard copy in either Scout Service Center. If you need us to send you a copy physically, let us know. We can send you a copy digitally, and it's always available at mvc-camps.org, along with a myriad of other online documents, which the list is absolutely ginormous. And I'm not going to read it to you, but you can go peruse yourself. It's a great way to kill 20 minutes at work when the boss upsets you and you're trying to do something else to cool down. So council refund request procedures, swim test procedures, 2022 camp staff applications, as well as maps. And we do have a brand new map of Camp Eastman that's absolutely gorgeous. So now I'm going to take a big swig of my drink. I'm going to invite my program director, Kim Thompson, to hop on the microphone to join me. I've got Cord Boughton sitting to my left, the council coordinator for program, and we're going to open the floor to questions and answers. Ask us anything you want. We're going to play Stump the Chump. See if you can ask a question that breaks us. You are welcome to unmute yourself too. You can post in the chat box. And if you have no questions, you are welcome to depart. This kind of ends the train for the evening.
J. David, when is the early bird discount?
Cord is looking that up at the moment, Mr. Melton. It's either the 15th or the 17th.
Of April?
Yes.
Okay.
They've asked me to treat this role as if I were somebody that's not a professional that we hired to be camp director, such as a Bill Maddox or, one-hit wonders like Nathan Smith. So I'm trying not to do more than what, a camp director in that role would do, but I also struggle with that because I want camp to be good if my, name is tagged to it. And I want to make sure that your scouts are supported, my staff is supported.
April 14th.
April 14th, young sir.
Thank you.
If for some reason you get to like April 15th and you're like, oh, heck, I forgot, give us a call. The objective is not to screw you, Jeff. It's meant that, when we get back that next Monday, Cord gives me a number and we start ordering what we need.
Hey, Jay David, this is Doug. Can I make a few announcements about health?
Absolutely, Vice President.
All right. So obviously we're praying like crazy that COVID will not be an issue this year. It'll be an issue, but hopefully not that's going to be as prevalent or obvious. There will be a pre-camp health form to fill out. so that we're not having sick kids come with any illnesses before camp, so that they're being screened properly like they should be, and that's a standard anyway. And as far as the whole mask thing like that, obviously we're in a situation now. The CDC says that in our area, no masks really required indoors unless there's an issue. We got several months, that may change, we'll see. But hopefully it won't be nearly as prevalent as before. So yeah, just a couple things there. And the check-in, we're still trying to figure out the check-in for health standards, exactly how we have to do that. Traditionally, we've had the health officer meet with the scoutmaster typically and go through the health forms briefly. The health officer would review those and seek out any questions or concerns. We may have to do a little more thorough evaluation than that. Maybe have each troop go through a quick evaluation with a staff member upon check-in or that evening to make sure we're not missing something. So that's where we're at. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Peters. In addition to being our Vice President of Program and my direct boss as Camp Director, not Ricky or Cord on that notion, Doug is. Doug is also the council physician. So if you want to see a full list of all the emergency plans and procedures that our risk management and council physician have put together, you can see that at MississippiValleyBSA.org/emergency. All campsites will have a QR code for that on their latrine, and all camp staff members will have that on the back of their 2022 name tags. So that way at any time we can scan that. We don't have to walk around with a piece of paper in our pocket, and we know what to do in case of a medical, aquatic, fire, severe weather, or other different scenario emergencies.
J. David, Jill has a question. With the welding merit badge, is there an age requirement?
I'm going to turn that over to my program director, Kim Thompson. Kim, is there an age requirement on the welding merit badge for you?
Didn't necessarily know that it's exactly. I actually don't know. That's a really good question. I should know that, but I do not have that.
I'm not seeing anything in the literature that we put out. I would say no, but if a scout can't handle it, they'll be asked to find another merit badge, and we'll be happy to find them a new place to do their activity. I'll be honest, I've never welded before. It looks like a lot of fun when I sit there and I watch Mike do it and wonder how in the heck he comes out alive. But if a scout can't lift it, if a scout's worried about it, if you're worried about it, you as a scout leader, permit the scouts to take the merit badges. If you don't think your scout can handle it, don't set your scout up to fail.
That's the biggest thing I would say is it's a maturity thing. Make sure that they can be responsible in the merit badge.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, once again, it is 7:53. We'll be on the line for a little bit. You are welcome to hop off. If you have questions, you are welcome to stick around and ask them either privately in the chat, and we can read those out loud so that way you're anonymous, or you're welcome to unmute yourself and toss them out there. This is being recorded. We will post it to the Mississippi Valley Council YouTube page and post a link on the mvc-camps.org page. That way you can come back and watch it at your heart's desire. I mean, kind of like the Silmarillion, this is a lot of information here, and just attempting, you get credit for. I might turn this on later tonight and use it to lull myself to sleep.
Hey Jay, what is the meal procedures looking like for camp next year, for this year? Sorry.
So here is the current game plan for the meals. Breakfast will still be continental breakfast. So it'll go from 7:30 to 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll probably stop just a few minutes before 9, just like we did last year. Troops seem to be split. Some liked it early, some liked it later. I don't care if you eat breakfast or not. When I was talking with Marcia last year, there and a couple other people, they were a little worried about what happens if a kid wants third or fourth on breakfast. If we can't afford 10 extra eggs, we should not be operating a summer camp. Because there's going to be people like me who aren't breakfast eaters, who aren't going to eat. And quite honestly, when we break down our meal for breakfast, we saved money by doing it this way. We will have the dining hall open. We will also at both camps have picnic tables outside of the dining hall. We will not have a dining hall steward. Clean up after yourselves. We share the camp. So you can eat breakfast inside, you can eat breakfast outside, you can eat with your friends from different troops, adult leaders can sit and eat with each other. If your troop wants to come up and eat as an entire troop, that's up to your senior patrol leader and patrol leaders council. If they want to come up in buddy pairs, if your 17-year-olds want to sleep in until 8:55, roll out of bed, throw on their sneakers and jog to class, I really don't care. At 8:50 in the morning is the current plan. The service troop for the day will be raising the flags at the main flagpole. So wherever you are, you turn and face the court of flags of the main flagpole and just wait for 30 seconds or a minute before you continue on with your day. Former Vice President Jim Mahaffey is working on getting us a great big speaker that we can play some trumpet tunes through, the appropriate bugle calls, whatnot. But we know that the mornings can be very busy as you and your troop raise the flag at your campsite or court of flags, and make sure that you guys are doing the things you need to do to have a successful day at camp. Lunch, we are retooling that menu a little bit, so it is going to be not by patrol necessarily, but more grab and go. So literally, I want you to, grab your grab the bag that's already got the 2 hot dogs in it and chips and everything else, and just walk away. Once again, you can eat in the dining hall, you can eat down at Snowfire, you can eat over by Pete's Pond. Just clean up after yourself. That's the kind thing to do. If you want to sit and eat inside, go for it. Me, if I want to be inside, I'd rather be at home in the air conditioning. I want to go sit by someplace beautiful and enjoy the outdoors. Dinner is going to be more traditional of a setting. And so I'm glad to be bringing this back. So we will have the salad bar. We will go through the buffet line. We will gather in front of the dining hall together and do whatever we do. No dining hall stewards, you come in, grab your stuff, clean up after yourself. You can sit inside, you can sit outside. First come, first served table is what we're currently planning on doing. And then when you're done, we will have an after meal program in the evening. So that may include King Pee Wee or a song. And so I've told my camp staff that I want to get rid of the 10 worst songs and keep only the 5 best after dinner programs. And Friday will include giving out the camp awards. So that way we're capable of doing, everything that we've done in the best possible light, while still giving the flexibility for you to run your program. Does that answer your question?
Absolutely.
So looking at the reviews, we're taking the best of all the worlds. I see Kim's unmuted herself. What you got, Kim?
I was just going to say, we have another question about if a troop decides to cook their meals in camp, is there a discount? And if so, how much?
Yes, there's 2 things that you need to do if you're going to cook in camp besides telling us. I believe the discount is $35 per person. And in addition, you need to give a certain amount of coupons to Kim and I to come taste your food. Because we do have a little competition going and seeing who has the best troop made food.
We just need to be invited. That's just all there is to it.
Absolutely, and you never know, if you invite the program and camp director to join you, you may get a little something out of it. A box of Big Boppers or something like that might be under our shoulder.
Hey, David, you're welcome at my campsite anytime.
Well, put that in writing, please. I should have been a contract lawyer. So, no, if you guys want to cook at your own site, that is a-okay. It does not hurt my feelings. It does not hurt Mrs. Collins's feelings. We know that I know that one of the things that's big is food. And so I like spending as much money on food at camp as I possibly can, because I think it keeps people happy. Even though the dining hall is not a program area. However, there's still that double-edged sword. When you have a cafeteria style food service, you can't over season things. You know, I would use a lot more butter, lemon, and garlic cooking than Mrs. Collins does at camp. And when I've had Mrs. Collins's, you know, weekend food, she uses a lot more butter, lemon, and garlic. And let me tell you, those meatloafs only get better with time, especially when they're on the weekend. But, you know, there's some people who don't like black pepper. There's some people who can't have too much salt. There's some people who just have a burning desire to make out with the vampires, so they have to not have garlic. We're friendship camp, don't make out with vampires. So we can't season things as much. But when you go to, you know, do your own cooking, you can do that. In fact, I was meeting with the Scoutmaster earlier today, and one of the things that I encouraged the Scoutmaster to do was to challenge their scouts to take a look at the menu when we publish it here in a couple of days and see how they can make it better. Can they go and ask Taco Bell for some fire packets, or go steal some tartar sauce from Long John Silver's? Can they, you know, we'll have ketchup and mustard and stuff, but, you know, do you need horseradish for something, or garlic powder, Old Bay seasoning, or lemon pepper to spice something up? You know, bring what you want. Sit there and, you know, Mrs. Dash the whole thing. You know, we don't care. Just have a good time. And if you really don't like it, our Trading Post has a delectable series of candies, ice creams,
Jack's Frozen Pizzas. Come on down.
Jack's Frozen Pizzas instead of the Red Baron are coming back, or switching brands again. I think we're even working with Kohl's to get one of those hot dog rollers this year. It is now 8:01. I'm going to stay on the line taking questions. If you guys need to head out, you are more than welcome to do so. If not, you can continue to play Stump the Chump. Nobody's asked me a really hard question yet. I always love these things. People sit here and they text me in the middle of the meetings.
I have another quick question for you, Jay. In regards to the Wednesday nights when everybody comes in, I know it's early in the game, but how is that all going to work? Are you going to have people outside the trading post with a sign-in sheet for people to just slide by? Because I see a traffic jam happening on that day in that situation.
So that's a very good question. So he's referring to family night, which is Wednesday at Camp Eastman and Thursday at Sockanock Scout Reservation. And so I have delegated how that process is actually going to work to future David Gilbert, who has 3 more months to work with his program director, Kim Thompson, his business manager, Jaden Schreck, and staff advisor, Cord Boughton, to figure out how that is going to look. So I'd like to thank future David Gilbert for taking on that project. I know that I can trust him. He only lets me down about 60% of the time. So let's flip a coin and hope we get good on that one. So I don't know what that'll look like, Justin. We may ask the leaders to provide us a list of everybody they expect to be coming ahead of time. Maybe have it up there, and when you walk in, you just check off your name, or, you know, have multiple different sheets, or, you know, there's a lot of different options of what that could look like.
Absolutely. Okay.
We'll have something more at our May pre-leaders meeting.
Yeah, we're going to do another one of these as we get closer, because people always have questions when we get a little bit closer to camp. And, you know, I want to make sure everybody's on the same page. I made poor decisions in life and got a corporate communications degree, probably where I worked for the Boy Scouts of America. But the one thing that I'm good at is being able to, you know, write things. And then we're also, Cord and I are talking about having another one of these pre-camp leaders meetings where we focus solely on the specialty camps, the Duty of God retreat, the Sockanock Scout Reservation backcountry experience, and the Trail to Eagle camp, where we actually go further in depth and kind of take a look at the syllabus that we're writing. I mean, for all of our camps, including regular troop summer camp, I've been asked to put together a syllabus for them. That way we don't lose things in transition. We can start writing down the procedures for the trading post and stuff like that. You know, if I get hit by a truck, you could pick up that book and just run summer camp, specific to Mississippi Valley Council. I see a couple people popping off. We're down from 17 to 12, but I'm still sticking around. Feel free to ask your questions. It looks like I've got the council physician, It looks like I've got the dining hall director on the line. I've got my business manager, who's also the Order of the Arrow chief on the line. Kim Thompson, my program director. So if you have questions for any of them, you are more than welcome to toss those out there. Once again, Cord is sitting to my left, staring at me uncomfortably. So if you have any questions for him, I would love to watch his face writhe as he figures out what his answer is going to be. And if you need to hop off, you're more than welcome to hop off. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do because we're still recording. I'll go ahead and wrap this up and make sure that everybody's aware that I thank them and enjoy their company tonight. And if you have any questions that you don't want on the record, you're welcome to stick around and ask those there. So don't forget, everybody, this will be recorded and put on the Mississippi Valley Council website, mvc-camps.org or mississippivalleybsa.org/camps. Click the button for resources. We'll also upload this to the Mississippi Valley Council's YouTube page so you can watch over and over and over. It'll be your new favorite movie. And we'll stick around for those who want to ask questions off the record. Thanks, everyone, for being here.